Hey folks, it's Russ. Today is Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. I hope you're having a great day. We got a bunch of snow here in Maine today, so I've been inside working on marketing, putting together letters, reading, doing a whole bunch of stuff here inside the house, but it's been a great day here. And Tina and I have just been spending the day. We watched a little bit of the Olympics earlier, so it's just been a good day. But I wanted to hop on here and do a video simply because I haven't made one in a couple of days. But today, I just wanted to talk about why more Americans are turning to physical silver right now. Okay. But before I get into that, I just want to show you what the current spot price of silver is. And I'm going to refresh this here. But it looks like we're at 84.19 current spot price. And, I'm not worried about this. I'm not worried about this at all. We've had the crash here a couple of weeks ago now. Got down to about $78. And it's going right back up. It's steadily going in an upward trend. There's nothing, in my opinion, that you have to worry about. I think this is just the marketing leveling itself out after the crash, and people are just kind of taking a break, stepping back, seeing where everything's going to go. But in my opinion, my humble opinion, I think it's just going to continue to go up because, like I mentioned in one of my last videos, just because silver crashed doesn't change the fact that it's still in high demand. In fact, there's never been more demand for silver than there is today. Okay. And we're seeing that. I mean, just the fact that it's used in so many different things, like I talk about in all my videos, all of the AI data centers, all of the electronics, all of the electric vehicles and solar and water purification systems, and in the medical industry and our defense systems, silver is just needed more and more and more every day. So the fact that silver is still in high demand, higher than ever, and we have a finite supply of it, is going to continue, in my opinion, to push the price of silver up. So I'm not worried about this. You can see in the last 24 hours, we're down 86 cents. The last 3 days, down 51 cents. In the last week, we're still up $12.48. The last month, $1.84 down. Last 3 months, we're up 35.62. Year to date, we're up 11.89. And in the last year, we're up 52.35. Right? And you look in the last 5 years, look at the graph, right? It just continues to go up. And it's going to continue to do that, in my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor or silver expert or anything like that, but that's just what things that I'm learning and watching and paying attention to. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that silver is going to continue to go up, and I have no worries about it at all. But I think that more Americans are quietly moving into physical silver right now, and not because of hype, but because they want something that is real and that's outside of the system. Okay. We see inflation continues to eat away at savings. Most wealth today is digital and permission-based. People are questioning how safe their money really is. And most people don't actually own their money, right? They just have access to it as long as the system allows it. So if you have your money in a bank account, you're getting robbed by the banks because they're just taking your money and lending it out at higher interest rates and making money and then paying you a fraction of a fraction of a fraction to allow them to do that. So people are starting to wake up and really question the system and the monetary system and our banking system and everything that's going on around us. And they're waking up to the fact that silver is tangible and real. Right? It's tangible and real. And it's not being there's no counterparty risk. And historically, it's been used as money for thousands of years. They call it God's money for a reason. Right? It's God's money for a reason. But it's also used in industry. So it's just it's one of those things that it's recognized as a currency, real value, tangible, something you can hold, and then a high demand for in industrial uses. So silver's not about getting rich quick. It's about not getting poor slowly. Okay. And this is what I think the missing piece most people don't consider is that, stacking at home is one option, but it's not the only option. And for some people, it's not the best one. You know, I think a lot of people think, oh, you have to have, they might not live in a good area or whatever, and they're worried about having silver on hand, but you can store silver. They do have vaults that are, third-party vaults where you can store your silver. So, if it's not something that you want to keep at home or in a safety deposit box at the bank, you can store it. But that's just, that's just different options for people. And another thing is, a lot of people, I think for a long time, they just thought they never really thought of precious metals as being something that they could invest in, because we're taught, invest in, invest in real estate, invest in the stock market, ETFs, IRAs, things like that. And we're not really, precious metals isn't talked about very much. But now I think the more people are waking up to it, and they're realizing that this is a really good way to exchange your fiat currency, which is backed by nothing, for something that has real value. For something that has real value. Because the more the feds print money, the more our dollar bill gets devalued. And basically our dollar bill is not worth anything. It's not even worth the amount or the cost of the paper that it's printed on. All right. And that's just a fact. Because it's just our dollar bill is devalued more and more every day. So what you can purchase today for $100, next year at this time, it's not going to be $100. It's going to be a lot more. That same thing. So this is it's a hedge against inflation. It protects your purchasing power. And I just think that, more people are waking up to this, and they're getting on the silver stacking bandwagon. But you don't have, you don't have to physically stack it. You can have it stored in vaults. But I wouldn't recommend, I'm not into the silver ETFs and things like that. All right. I want to know that I have physical silver, whether it's wherever I store it, that I have access to it, not something that's on paper that, whoever's selling me these ETFs, they can't produce the silver when it's time for me to go and exchange it or trade it in, if you know what I mean. Right. So I don't recommend that, but that's just my personal preference. But yeah, so I put together, I'm going to share my screen here. I put together a PDF for everybody called Silver Freedom Foundations. Let me just share my screen here. All right, Silver Freedom Foundation. So if you want to understand the basics, why people use silver, how it fits into real world wealth protection, and common mistakes to avoid, I put this together. It's a 15-page PDF. It's called Silver Freedom Foundations. You can go to silverfreedomfoundations.com and download this, okay? Just go and download this, and it'll be sent right to your email. And you can just check it out, and then you can always reach out to me if you have any questions about anything. But I think that, silver is going to continue to go up. I think it's a great place to, maybe not have all of your money, if you're into investing, but have a portion of it being precious metals and particularly silver. I'm certainly not here to tell you what to do with your money, but just to make sure you know your options. Inform people, make better decisions. And, like I said, I'm just learning this as I go myself. But what I'm learning is, it's pretty interesting stuff. I wish that I would have paid more attention to precious metals 20, 30 years ago. But it's better late than never. I've been stacking now for about 3 years. And, I love everything about it. Actually, I'll show you this. This is the Australian kangaroo. This came today. This is a 2026. Beautiful coin. I know you can't really see well on here. This is a Silver Eagle 2026. And then I got the 2026 Canadian Maple Leaf right here. So beautiful coins. I love everything about silver. And I think that it's just going to continue to go up in price. So anyway, that's the reasons why I think more Americans are turning to silver right now. And, I don't think that we're going to run out of silver anytime soon. I think people are always going to be, people are always going to collect it, stack it. There's always going to be coins available for purchase and things like that, in my opinion. So I think a lot of that stuff is hype when they say, oh, we're running out of silver. I think there's always going to be silver circulating. I don't think that the government's going to come to everybody's house and knock on their doors and make them turn their silver and gold in. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think that that's going to happen. But anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm going to end this video for now, but you can go and get a free silver bar at freesilverbar.com. All right, go check that out if you want to start stacking and have the option of making some additional monthly residual income. I can't guarantee anything. It's all dependent on your work ethic, but people that join me in this, they start stacking silver and they put in a little work and they can start building a nice monthly residual income. And you can join our Facebook group over at silverfreedomalliance.com. And then again, check out my Silver Freedom Foundations guide. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. I appreciate each and every one of you. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. And until then, stay well, be safe, and peace be with you. Thanks for watching.